If you're here, then I'm certain that you're the kind of person who wants to help your team improve the results and reach their goals. You wouldn't watch a video like this if you didn't recognize the challenges of sales that compel you to look for answers. I also know how difficult it can be to lead, especially in challenging times. You've hired salespeople only to watch them fail until you've reached a point where you believe there are no good salespeople. And I promise you there are, but you have to build them. And you might cringe when you hear your salespeople speak to clients and prospects, wishing that they had better language and a better approach, and I promise you those approaches and that language already exist. You might be the super closer for your sales force, and they call you in to rescue victory from the jaws of defeat. And that's not something that makes for good sales leadership, even though it's important for you to do it now, I get it. If you're like a lot of sales leaders, your team has a list of excuses why they don't prospect and why they don't have new deals. Your sales force, if you're like many others, they don't negotiate with your prospects, they negotiate with you for the maximum concession they can give their prospect. You didn't know that they were negotiating with you and not their contact until I just told you that, but don't worry, we can turn this around. Maybe you get no compliance around your CRM and you invested a ton of money in it, and your team is missing their goals or targets, and a few of them are a negative influence on the rest of the team. How am I doing so far? Well, maybe I should ask, how are you doing so far?
So the Sales Accelerator program, for the most part, has been a real blessing in giving us complete infrastructure and a system. We lacked complete foundation, daily discipline, and just really the fundamentals for where to start and then how to carry through a sales program. The Sales Accelerator program just added a lot more of that formality to the everyday. This is definitely not a check the box type of training program and just move on. And that's where all of our other training programs and sales consulting modules have failed. Each one of the sales reps has to be very conscientious about keeping it slow and immersing themselves in each one of the sessions so that they understand what they're absorbing and then actually incorporate that into an everyday life. Overall, with the Sales Accelerator program, has just been off the charts, really impressive.
Most of the companies that we help lack a training and development function altogether, which means salespeople get no training. And even when they do have a training department, they don't always have the content to provide the training themselves and no easy way to deliver the content, especially when people are working from home. They don't have a way to track a salesperson's progress, a methodology for developing them, and most salespeople have never had any real training of their own. More still, most don't recognize the difference between training and transformation. There are other factors that also make consistently growing sales difficult, and we'll look at a few of them later. But right now, I want you to know that we have a solution for you, and it's easier than you might expect. We call it a done-for-you approach. Stay with me for the next segment, and I'll explain to you how the done-for-you approach works.